Howdy, and welcome to the first episode of the Games That Make Us. This is my new series where I talk about games. We're gonna talk about games in this series. In this episode, we're just gonna talk about the games that make us, the games that were important in our lives as we grew up, and the games that helped shape us, and the games that helped make us. The games that help make us who we are. Tonight's guest is Brian Verrett of GEEKSQUIRE. I've only just met Brian recently, but they are just such a phenomenal creator, and I couldn't think of anyone better to just talk about games in general than with someone who just plays games in general. I know here it looks like I just play horror, but I play a lot of games. I play a lot of games in a year, and I really wanted an opportunity to be able to talk about a lot of the games that I do play that aren't on stream, that I just love, because I love games. So before we begin, please like and subscribe, and put a thumbs up. And make sure to also go check out Brian's channel on TikTok at the very least. That's where he puts all his hard work. Yeah, here we go. These are the games that make us. And without further ado, let's go. So here we are with the games that make us. I am here with Brian from GEEKSQUIRE, and we are going to talk about the games that made us. And we're gonna start early childhood. What is the earliest memory of gaming that you have that was kind of like a I want to keep doing this kind of thing?
Ooh, so I think if you're a millennial, I think all of us started with like the Atari or like Super Nintendo. Uh, I had a Nintendo 64 for like the longest time. And I was
Mhm.
happy, content with that. I had Mario Kart and Cruising USA, perfectly fine with it. It wasn't until I went to my dad's one of his friend's birthday party, and we were all in the back, and the PlayStation 1 had just came out, and they were playing a racing game, and I, being obsessed with cars, was like, what is this? And they passed me controller, and I got behind a Ferrari F50, did a whole power slide and started driving, and I learned about the need for speed. And my mom just so happened to walk into the room as she saw me do that and saw my eyes just light up and knew right then and there, like, well, have to buy that for Christmas now because I know he's not going to stop talking about it. And sure enough, Christmas of, I want to say 97, maybe 98, there it was under the tree with the Need for Speed 2 right on top of it. And
Yeah.
oh boy, when you talk about one of those great games and from a franchise at that, that game, I to this day actually still go to YouTube just to play the soundtrack and they had like a little section where they do like a showcase on each car or each brand, and they will give you like a history rundown and a little special video. I have it bookmarked on my YouTube just so I can watch it again because it was such, if you're a car enthusiast, it was such a beautiful way to like, you learn the brand, you learn their history, you learn their passion, their why they did what they did, and you get like this dope little maybe 2 minute video on a car. It's just so cool, and you really don't get that these days.
Mm-mm.
Gran Turismo is maybe the closest one, especially with seven, where they give you like a challenge to get three.
Seven's like, hey, you want to learn about cars? No? Oh,
You get
fucking well, you're about to learn about cars. Because you do those
yeah,
cafe
like
books and it makes you learn about the cars.
exactly, and like I personally love doing. Granted, some of them I could
Love
have
it.
gone without, but like,
It's funny that you
but
mentioned racing. Because for me, like racing is like I know like if you when you see me, it's like yeah, racing is kind of a big part of his life, and I've always been into racing, but racing was not like even the beginning of my gaming career. Um, my earliest memory of gaming was playing the original Legend of Zelda and fucking my dad's shit up. but I loved it because back then, like when you shot arrows, it spent rupees. So I'm running around like pop 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 pop, not knowing what the fuck I'm doing. I'm like, yeah, this is the shit. Pop 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 pop. And then like we moved from where we were to a new house in Harahan, and my dad got a PlayStation, and I wasn't allowed to play the games, but I had sleep issues then, and I have them now. And I was up one night. I snuck my ass downstairs, turned on the PlayStation that he just got, not knowing what was in it, and I opened my eyes to the world of Doom. And
Oh,
that was the first time, and not the last time, that Doom would become one of the most influential games of my life. It was it was such an eye-opening experience. Like, as I played Legend of Zelda, and I was like, yeah, pop, 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 I'm just kind of playing a game. But I put on Doom, I was like 7 or 8, and I turn it on, and it's like, whoa, this shit looks so real. I'm gonna go kill those dudes. And I was so bad at it. I'm still bad at the original Doom. I ain't even gonna lie. But it was just like, yeah, it was just like, I want to play games like this. And for most of my life, to a certain point, I played first person shooters and boomer shooters. And then it wasn't until like 2013 or so, maybe not 2013, like 2003. Yeah, 2003, like right before, not right before, but a little bit before, a couple years before Katrina, we got the PlayStation 2. And my mom just got one because she knew that we like games, and this is my second game, which is a perfect segue back into what you were just talking about. Um, we got the PlayStation 2, and it was the bundle. The bundle. I don't know if you remember the PlayStation 2 when it first came out. It was
mhm.
bundled with Gran Turismo 3,
Yes.
and that is how I got addicted to racing games.
So, fun story about that. Uh, I only had Need for Speed 2, and I just played that to death.
Hmm.
And then I remember, because if you remember, PlayStation the magazine,
Oh,
I
cool
was
ass
going through it
magazine.
at I think it was Winn Dixie, and I see just it's just the cover, the greatest racing game coming soon, and it's just that silver um blanket over a car, and it's Gran Turismo, and I'm like, what is this? And it came with the like a demo of like all the PlayStation games coming out. And my grandmother was like, "Oh yeah, I'll get it for you, sweetie. Come on." So I got it. I got home because I always brought my PlayStation with me to my grandmother's house. Pop in the demo, and it was Intelligent Cube, Tomb Raider,
I had that
Crash
disc.
Bandicoot,
I know exactly what disc you're talking about. I had that disc too. I played the shit out of it.
and then the fourth one just so happened to be Gran Turismo. And I went, "Huh, this was wonder what this is about." Another game that I saved the intro because that is one of the greatest intros in gaming, not just racing games, just in gaming.
GT4 gets me
Eh,
every time. So, what is a game preteen for you? Not quite little like Gran Turismo 2 and Need for Speed, but after that era, what's another game for you?
So I guess preteen for me would be around what 14, 15. So Hurricane Katrina, as we both know,
Yep.
fucked up our lives, fucked
Yes,
up
it did.
Louisiana for decades to come.
Mm.
I was in we had to flee to Gonzales, and I was just stuck at my cousin's house, and I wasn't allowed for like the longest time to hook up my PS2. So I just went to school, came home, and just like sat and did nothing. And then finally we were allowed to like hook it up since we were gonna be out there longer than expected. It was like, oh thank God. Uh because I had just I think not just got, but I just started playing NASCAR Thunder 2004, I want to say.
Nice.
It was NASCAR Thunder 2004 because I had previously bought NASCAR Dirt to Daytona, which was a massive letdown in my book and one of the most overrated in NASCAR games of all time. Argue with your mama. Uh, and I said, you know what? I'm gonna try NASCAR Thunder 2004. I'm gonna try it again, and it was the best decision I made because I growing up I wanted it was either NASCAR or professional wrestling. Those were my two life choices I wanted to do. And I came up with a team name. I had a logo that you can't do now. But I mean, you could probably do in like the newer games, but like I just drew a shitty logo. Um, I picked Pontiac to be my start car, and
Mm-hmm.
then when after I made my first season, I would switch over to Dodge, and like I wrote down my stats, which I actually, now that I think about it, yeah, I still have to this day. I wrote down every stat I had, all my starts, my polls, my wins, top fives, top tens. Like looking at this, your boy was the GOAT. I'm just saying. If 544 starts, 166 polls, 128 wins, 338 top fives, 384 top tens. My average start 17.2. Don't make no sense how I got 166 polls, but my average start was a 17.2.
Yeah, man,
Average finish is
consistent racing
8.2.
will get you in the pole easy peasy.
Hey, 5 championships, 3 of which were in a row. Full-time Daytona 500 winner,
All right, Jeff
29
Gordon.
restricted plate
Damn.
wins, 26 road course wins, second in all. I was a monster at the age of like 14, 15. I don't even know how many hours I put into that game. I still have the original copy too. Now I think about it, and I loved every second playing. Like the soundtrack was amazing, the graphics were dope. The fact that there was a rivalry and ally system, you had a deep career mode, a deep season mode, you had a trophy room. Like it was everything you could have wanted in a NASCAR game, especially if you're a young NASCAR fan, just to grow up playing against legends and then future legends like Kevin Harvick, uh my book legend Ryan Newman, underrated, Jimmy Johnson before he became 7 time, Jeff Gordon, Tony Stewart, Bobby Labonte, just racing against those guys in their prime. It was great. And then you flip the coin over. Need for Speed Hot Pursuit 2 had just dropped, like not that long ago. That's another one of those all-time great racing games. Having hot action cop play on the intro, having I believe it just came out the Lamborghini Murcielago and the Ferrari 360 Mondeo, and the cop version of a Lamborghini Diablo chasing. Dog, this ah ah ah, and then right after that, Need for Speed goes, you know what? Fast and Furious is real popular right now. Let's do that and come up with Need for Speed Underground 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
Hit you with the back to back. Hit you with two golded games. Two golded games back to back, which Underground 2, everyone talks about it's 2025 and we still talk about Underground 2's customization.
So now that we've talked about Underground 2, Underground 1, I'm gonna slide us now into the teen years, which this is the perfect segue for me to start with Burnout 3, baby. So Burnout 3 for me is to this day one of the single most important games I've ever played. Not because of racing, like not in the least, but it changed the way I listen to music. Um, I before Burnout 3, I was really into like System of a Down, a lot of like new metal, alt metal type shit, and then featured prominently on the Burnout 3 soundtrack was a song called "Right Side of the Bed" by Atreyu, and it goes. And I was like, little 15-year-old me was like, what the fuck is this? I've never heard anything like. I grew up listening to thrash, all the boomer metal genres,
Yeah.
and I hear this metalcore riff for the first time in my life, and I'm like, what is that? And at so this is 15. At 16, I'm playing guitar now. and I'm learning that riff because I heard it on the Burnout 3 soundtrack. And then what Burnout Revenge soundtrack had a Beast and a Harlot, which Guitar Hero for the time, introduced me heavily into Avenged Sevenfold. And but my where I am now in my music career is owed to Burnout 3. Like, I wouldn't be the musician I am if it weren't for Burnout 3. While I do enjoy Burnout as a game, like, oh my god, I enjoy it. I idolized Burnout 3 as a game because it's so much fucking fun. But EA, just the soundtrack they had on those Burnout games were just a cut above, and they really just it introduced me to so much new music that I still listen to this day because it was so good. Like what Morningwood was featured on it, Atreyu, Sugar Cult. God, so much like really good rock and metal, even hip hop was featured on the shit. It was just Burnout is. I love Burnout. I love Burnout so much.
So I'm also on that because I had Burnout. Think it was three point of impact or takedown. I think three was takedown,
Three's
and
takedown.
four and four is point of impact, I believe.
Choose point of impact. 4 is
Okay.
revenge.
Okay, yeah. So I had 2, 3, and 4. I never got Paradise. Um, but because you brought up ATU, a game that had one of those game series that had very underrated soundtracks. MX versus ATV.
Yep. Oh yeah. No, that's how I learned about System of a Down. One of the MX versus ATV, I think it was MX ATV 2, had a Science by System of a Down, and like I heard them on the radio before, and I was all like, okay, yeah, radio music. And then I hear it in this song, and it's like, and I'm all like, what the fuck is that, dude? What am I hearing? What am I hearing with my tiny child ears? What is this beautiful noise?
Yeah, I just got on the PSP and I had MX versus ATV Untamed and Unleashed, and I heard Senses Fail, Stretch Your Legs to Coffin Lift for the first time. Oh, that unlocked a new part of Brian because it's like just hearing God damn. Oh, fucking got goosebumps. Shit. Uh, I would legit just sit in the jukebox sometimes and not even like just sit there and just play the songs over and over and over again. Yeah, you had Crossfade, you had System of a Down again was I think in Untamed, Senses Fail, Hawthorne Heights I think was in one of those. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure Hawthorne Heights was in one of those. And I'm just like I'm falling down the rabbit hole of just post-hardcore and scream, just falling down it. While that's happening, I'm also getting more and more invested into pro wrestling because I already had like your SmackDowns. Here comes
Before you continue, I want to make a prediction.
okay.
Uh, I predict that you are going to mention Kill Switch Engage in a second.
Yes and no, actually. um, Only no because I got really deep into Here Comes the Pain and Our Lady Peace because whatever Chris Benoit's theme. Oh, that
Was
was
that
my theme for like
Chevelle?
every. No, Our Lady Peace. Our Lady Peace. Ah, ah, dun 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 dun.
It
It
sounds familiar.
yeah. I don't. No. Chevelle was in one of the games, but I think it was well enough alone. Well enough alone, and I think that was 2007. Yeah, 2007, 2008 when they were added to the soundtrack. But Slow Chemical, Motorhead, the game, uh, Disturbed, Stone Cold Steve Austin's theme, just the litany. Um, Love, Passion, fury energy from for Lita. Like I fell down the rabbit hole of punk and metal and screamo and from those two games, but CM Punk joining the WWE because I known about Punk since his Ring of Honor days and IWA Mid South. So him joining in the ECW brand in 2008 and hearing Kill Switch Engage for the first time play this Fire Burns. On a Tuesday night on the Sci-Fi Network, I'm like, I was already a fan of you, Punk. Your matches with Samoa Joe is burned into my head. I need you to be the top guy here. I need you. I need to see this happen. I was playing still NASCAR, Gran Turismo 4 just came out, WWE, but I wanted to actually pivot and try something else. Do you remember the game The Getaway?
Yep.
So I that was one of the first The Getaway, True Crime Streets of LA those were like my first two mature games I ever got because I was not of age, so it was like given to me from friends, um and an open world, like an open world London in like 2000, that was like 2003 2004 I think, and like having licensed cars, having you can go around shooting and kind of being a menace, but also that's one of those games that looking back on is one of those underrated PS2 games because that story was very Guy Ritchie inspired. Like I had never played a game that had that much complex characters and murder and having to, you can't just go guns blazing because that changes things. Like there's a level where you have to sneak through the bad guy's house and there are lasers everywhere. If you step on the laser, gas comes out and you get knocked out. The mission's over and the story will branch off. It will actually like, oh well, this character got caught, so now we're gonna jump back to this character, and you're gonna have to deal with that down the line. But if you make it past that, you get information to the main character. They're still gonna get caught either way, but it does change the way the branch goes.
Yeah.
Which my first time learning about branching storylines, having two different characters that have the same things happening on one character, you see from his point of view, and then when you switch over to the other character, you see what's actually happening. Like, oh, he killed that guy. What the hell? But then you switch over to the other character, and you're like, were those fake bullets? You sneaky son of a bitch! It's like it was so fucking cool. But like, oh god, what a time!
It was a good era for gaming.
Oh god, yeah.
And then my 20s came, and the game I'm going to talk about here, it was just before my 20s, but it was so pivotal to like what comes next. It's the reason why we're sitting here. So before 2008, I did not play horror games. I was a scared little baby. The last horror game I played was in like 97, 98, Resident Evil 2 on the Nintendo 64. That shit scared the hell out of me. I didn't like playing the Shadow Temple in Legend of Zelda. I was a scared little baby. And then in 2009, no, I lied. Not 2000. Let's go back a little bit just to set it up. In I think it was 2007, 2006, maybe 2004. Resident Evil 4 comes out. And I play it, and I'm still a scared little baby. And then a bunch of other really fucked up shit happens in my life, so I can't play Resident Evil 4. I can't. That version of Resident Evil 4, I cannot play. And even still, like when I was playing it, I was just like, I had this idea in my head of what a scary game was supposed to be like, and I was playing this game because I wanted it to be scary. So I'm playing Resident Evil 4, and I'm like, I don't feel the same. I'm scared playing it, but I don't feel the same fear that I had playing Resident Evil 2. So a couple years later, I'm working at GameStop, and a box comes in with these new games, and they did a midnight release for it. Nobody came. Nobody knew what it was. Dead Space in 2008. And I saw the box. Then no one came into pre-order. I'm like, hey, you know it was like working at GameStop. You could check games out. We needed a game to put. We needed a box to put on a wall and a couple of like spare discs. So I was like, hey, we're gonna need to do it anyways. I'm gonna take this game home because that hand on the cover looks cool as shit. And I felt the fear I had when I was a kid. and it was different now. It's different. I was all like, I want to chase this feeling. I want more. I want more of this feeling. And I went from not playing horror games to playing every horror game to release. Then on, Dead Space was such an important game to me. Like, I don't know if you know this about me, but I got. Let's see if I can pull it up here. Blam. That's from Dead Space.
God.
Let me get it on my camera. There we go.
Please don't fall. I swear to God, I will laugh, dog.
And then when I eventually go get to my application to EA, I show my interviewer like, oh, what kind of games do you like to play? Like, I like to play horror games, and Dead Space, one of my big ones. He's like, oh yeah, really? And I'm like, yeah, really. Look at my leg, and he's all like, oh, you're hired. You're hired. You're in. But Dead Space was a huge moment for me because I don't know how things were when you were at GameStop. I was at GameStop a little earlier than you. We only had 3 days, so I checked it out on Friday, played it through the whole weekend. I beat that game 8 times over the weekend. I was so fully enamored by this game that I beat the game 8 times. I was off the whole weekend, so I spent the whole weekend just not sleeping playing Dead Space. And it's funny because if Dead Space hadn't come along, right now, if I were doing this, we would be talking about Call of Duty Modern Warfare 1. That is how drastically my life changed. And then Dead Space came, and I was like, yo, for real? For real? Okay, this is what I want to do. And it's to this day, like, not much has changed in regards to that. I love Dead Space. Everyone knows it. There's no hiding it anymore now. Like, everyone knows. Oh, Ricky, yeah, the Dead Space guy. You want to talk about Dead Space? Go talk about Dead Space with Ricky. He'll tell you about Dead Space.
Oh, I don't have any more. I was about to say, if we actually met up, I had some Prey artwork that I gave to a friend.
Yeah,
I wish I had known that.
Prey's a big one for me too. I love Prey. I love Prey 2017. I'm trying to find my Dead Space art book. I guess you know the art book. I got the Dead Space 1 art book. It's fucking sick. Not the new one, but the original one that Glenn Schofield made. Yeah.
Oh God, my 20s. Oh God. So
it's a good era for games. Mass Effect, dude. Mass Effect came out in that time.
That's what I was actually gonna bring up because so just like you, I had some shitty things happen.
Quick segue. I do not like Mass Effect. I love Dragon Age though. I love Dragon Age.
I just got Veilguard for free, but I have not started because I had to uninstall it to install another game to play because PS5 Space Cabality is stupid.
I had an old buddy at EA send me a free copy. I didn't want to pay for it because I wasn't sure if I was gonna like it, and I played through like 4 hours of the game and I haven't played it since. It's just not. It's just not the same. That's all.
My boss would talk about Mass Effect. And I'm just like, I'm not a fan of it. I was dogging on the game, the whole series. Had never played it, not one lick of it. And occasion at GameStop, we would get inside information. We would get told like stuff was, and they mentioned to us that the final game is all your choices. Everything's gonna lead up to the battle, and it's gonna look like Star Wars. And all these ships are gonna come in. I'm like, not gonna lie, that does sound kind of cool, I guess. And I remember playing with my buddies that usually play Call of Duty. They were playing the Mass Effect 3 multiplayer. And I'm like, not y'all too. Like, you should try it. I'm like, only because I like y'all. So I downloaded it and I got a multiplayer and I picked Soldier and went, wait a minute. Wait a minute. This is kind of cool. Told you, shut up. And I'm like, so what's the story? Like, that's something you gotta do on your own. I'm like, oh, fucking hell. So I played like the demo of 3 and I got to customize my character. Children, fellas, non binaries, listen to me. I have a problem when it comes to customization.
You
I
too?
I will create characters. To this day, I play my wrestling games. I have a whole federation of about 80 people, all of which have backgrounds, stories, blood types, relationships. Don't give me a game where I can create someone from the ground up because I'm taking full advantage of it. So when I play Mass Effect 3 for the first time and get to like create my Commander Shepard, oh I was it was done. I played the demo and find out like, oh, you meet these characters in 2 or you meet this character in 1, and I'm like, I'm gonna have to play this game to like actually understand. The release is in less than 2 weeks. Like you have 2 weeks to like play 1 and 2. My boss just so happened to have 1, and he was more than willing to let me borrow it. I'm like, deal. Played it. You want to talk about experience? The music, the fact that the sound effects would change, the sound would change from walking on dirt to walking on steel,
To this
which was
day,
just
I'm
mind blowing in
always looking for
2007.
that.
That's
Not a lot of games still do that. Like they're just all like, yeah, footsteps, whatever. But when I'm playing a game and I'm like walking in grass and you're like, and I walk on like rocks and it's like, and I'm always like, yes, indeed,
yeah,
always.
like
I
that's
love that shit.
that's something so small that's so cool, and then you meeting all these characters and building relationships with them. And I know a lot of people hate Ashley, they hate Caden. I get it. They're not the best people. I understand. And some people just immediately get rid of Ashley or Caden on Virmeyer. If you actually build a relationship with these characters and let them grow like people, they change. Especially if you play the DLC, you actually learn um one of the people you get introduced in the first game on the ship is a little bit of a bigot to aliens. You find out in the DLC on either the first or second one, oh, he completely changed his viewpoint, his mindset, started actually working more with aliens, more with other species, and became an entire different person. Bro, you don't get that? Like the character growth, amazing weapons, amazing. I I went from one of the biggest haters to the point where I've played Mass Effect the entire series, have played it, completed it at least 10 times. I will defend Mass Effect 3 with my whole chest. I'm not dying on this hill. Someone is. It ain't gonna be me.
My,
I played Andromeda. I actually met some of the team for the Andromeda at MechaCon, like I think 2017, 2018. I can't remember.
I didn't. I've never played the Mass Effect series just because I'm not really interested in like the whole sci-fi RPG thing. But I played
Neither
Andromeda.
was I.
I played Andromeda. Andromeda was sick.
Yeah, neither was I. And then I met a Krogan for the first time and went, he's cool as hell. Then I met an Asari for the first time and went, you're a very pretty lady, and I see why the internet exists. I get it now. I see why some people are the way they are on the internet. I get it. I get it. Y'all still need Jesus, but I get it.
On
And
that, did you know that? So Bioshock. You know who I'm talking about? BioShock Infinite, Catherine. The
Yep.
way the way that people online animated her, and doing very risque, unladylike things.
Yeah.
Um, it changed animation. It was a huge pivotal moment in the way, like, not just video game animation is done, but movie animation as well. Like the way people like the technological advancements made just to make porn of this one character changed the landscape of 3D animation.
Imagine being so horny that you change the entire landscape of animation.
You invent new technology just to like be able to do it better. Like, can you believe that?
No, I mean I can, but like
It's
this is like
it's one of
what
the weird, interesting facts that like I just gonna keep in my
and
pocket
that
for.
game came out in what, 2013, BioShock
Mhm.
Infinite? Like that's insanity. Oh God. And God, what was my 20s? I was playing. I was hours, days, weeks, neck deep in Forza Motorsport 3 and 4, mostly 4. Just hour after hours online playing the career mode again, customizing cars. But now, like,
I
it's
am a
we're
day one Forza hater. To this day, I'm still a Forza hater.
really
You know what I did like though during that era? Project Gotham
BioShock.
Racing.
Oh boy, that ooh, you
Project
want to talk
Gotham
about
Racing. That game
you
was
want to
cool
talk
as
about
shit.
a series that should have shined, and it did
That
for.
should be what Forza became. That should have been. We should be playing Project Gotham Motorsports, not Forza Motorsports or Project Gotham Horizon, whatever. It doesn't matter.
Hey,
It
hey,
should have been
hey,
Project Gotham Racing.
hey! I love Horizon, especially Horizon 3. It's one of the greatest racing games of all time, in my opinion. But Project got, especially
It was so
4, I think it
stylish.
was. It the introduction of bikes, introduction of hypercars, the dynamic weather, which was well ahead of its time. You couldn't get me to drive in the snow, especially on a racetrack. You couldn't do it. You want me to drive a Ferrari Enzo in the snow? I'm scared to even look at one in real life. You want me to drive one in the snow in a video game? Are you mad, bruv? Are you mad?
So now that we're out of our 20s, let's talk about games that were important in our 30s. I don't know if you're 30. Are you 30?
I just turned 35, July 28th.
Congratulations. What is it?
Thank you.
2025. What month is it? Wait, what day did you just say?
July 28th was
Hey,
my birthday.
we're 10 days apart. We're both 35. Let's go.
Oh shit!
Yeah, July 18th. So
Fuck
so
yeah!
yeah, so we're both in our 30s then. We're perfect. It works out. So
It,
we're working with the same smattering of games then. So my 30s were kind of funny cuz like I have always I've always spent a lot of time gaming, always. But my 30s were a little bit different cuz I was a little all over the place. You know, I spent a good couple of years playing Elite Dangerous in my early 30s, and I fucking love Elite Dangerous to this day. I spent a lot of time playing through Dead Space over and over again, even though it had been long out. I was playing Gran Turismo Sport, all these cool games. A lot of cool games came up, but one game completely changed the trajectory of my life more than any other game ever made ever. And to this day, I literally owe it everything I have. And it seems like a weird thing to say, but 2016, Doom rebooted. And when I heard that goddamn fucking soundtrack, it changed. I started a band. I started a band because of that. I went on tour because of that. I started my own music studio because of it. Like, my computer was built to be, to facilitate music creation because of Doom 2016. And now, because I don't do music as much anymore, I have all this hardware, and I started reviewing video games. And here we are still, because we're sitting here right now having this conversation because Doom 2016 existed and because Mick Gordon is a goddamn fucking wizard with anything that makes noise. And I owe Doom 2016 everything right now. Like my whole life, where I'm sitting is only possible because Doom 2016 came out.
Damn.
Everything we're doing right now is a result of Doom 2016 having been released with Mick Gordon on the soundtrack.
That's fucking amazing. Like,
Is that not amazing, dude?
yeah, it is.
It was a huge domino. It was all like, oh, I play like I have sponsorships with guitar companies. I have my guitar right here. I have my face on guitar companies' websites because of Doom 2016. I have so much shit because Doom 2016 was just there. It was just boom. God, I fucking love Doom, dude.
So I kind of have that, but not to the extent. Well, so I've been doing my thing, GeekSquire, for my internet decided to remind me. As of May, for 10 years, I've been producing content because I love comic books. I love geek culture. And the first thing I ever did was the Avengers, Age of Ultron. We did a whole review, all that stuff, because I love comic books. I love
Mm-hmm.
comic book related things. And one of the things I love about comic books, my favorite comic book character, I mean, is Spider-Man. I've always been someone that chose responsibility over my betterment. So I would suffer knowing that I'm being the responsible person doing the right thing. We've had a weird history with Spider-Man games. Some have been amazing.
Before we go where I think we're going, do you know what my son's name is?
Is it Peter?
Miles Morales.
Oh God!
Because you know
That's so
my
sweet.
last name is Morales, right?
I didn't know you just said his name was
It,
mine. I'm
it,
about to
it,
cry.
it gets crazier because it's not just I didn't just name him Miles Morales because I think Miles Morales is like a good Spider-Man, but because Miles Morales, when Miles Morales came out, the comic book, like I imagine for you that was really strong representation.
I I was
But
actually gonna get there too.
what is the other half of Miles Morales?
Uh,
What is his mom?
Rio.
Yes. What is Rio? Rio's Puerto Rican.
Re- yeah,
That was
and
the
Jefferson.
first. That was my first uh, realization that Puerto Rican representation existed.
d-
I'm Puerto Rican,
Yeah, dog,
right?
dog,
We're on the
dog,
same. We're on the same page because
dog.
I was kind of feeling what you were putting down, and I kind of feeling where it's going with it.
So when Spider-Man Insomniac announced they were doing a Spider-Man game, I was like, I'm on board
Hmm.
already because it was coming on the PS4, and I got that game, and like I think I stayed up to like 2 in the morning just playing like like not even like getting into like the deeps of the story, just still being early and like swinging around the city and just having the music play and like being Spider-Man. And then you get into the game more and the story starts like really building, and you start seeing that comic book Peter Parker struggle of having the great power and the responsibility that comes with it. It got to the point I actually didn't finish the game for about 4 months. Like I was on the last few missions, like literally the last I think 3 4 missions. And my roommates at the well not at the time still, that was like, "Hey buddy, you finished Spider-Man yet?" I'm like, "No, I'm playing this right now." Like, you should probably finish the game. I'm like, "Why?" No, no, not spoil it. I'm like, I'm thinking like, okay, this is Spider-Man, so either A, Venom's gonna show up. B, Avenger is gonna show up to like help during the final mission or something, or like something's gonna happen. So you do it. You get that amazing sequence between him and Doc Ock, and you get him knocking the mask partly off, and Ock reveals that he's known that Peter was Spider-Man the whole time, which means you knew what I was doing. You knew you put my aunt in the. You knew. Oh, that Lauren, you beautiful bastard! Like the feeling, the passion, that voice acting, and then you get to May, and he has the antidote that could save his aunt's life, the last remaining person in his life, like his whole family. Or do I save all of New York? And she says, "Let me see my grandson one more time." And now I'm seeing why my roommates were like, "You should probably get to that ending," because now I'm weeping because I lost my grandmother when I was 10 and I didn't get to say goodbye to her. So having that scene play out wrecked me, completely destroyed me. And fast forwarding to Spider-Man 2, while not as emotionally impactful as that first one, seeing Peter grow and mature and still have those struggles, seeing Miles grow and come into his own, except for that fuck ass Adidas suit that they make you wear at the end. Except for that, um,
I'm just saying, if I were
is
Spider Man, I would wear an Adidas suit. I would
like
absolutely wear an
maybe,
Adidas
but
suit.
not that one, not that one. Like I love Spider-Man, and I remember I was at the North Shore Square Mall. Uh, I think I was like maybe an hour or two before I had to go to work, and I was on my phone, my shitty iPhone at the time, and I see it was either comicbook.com or it was some comic book website that I go to, and it gets announced at the end of Death of Spider-Man, which I have. You'll see the new Spider-Man, who's Miles Morales, as a black Afro Latino. I started crying in the middle of that food court because like I used to dream of a time where Spider-Man was black, and like it's it's this is happening. And I know the internet loves to have revisionist history and say, "Oh, there was an outrage. The
There
people
absolutely
loved
was. People
Miles."
were pissed, and that's what the movies
Y'all,
are about. It's because people were pissed.
like, you don't lie to me, because I was on the internet. Don't lie to me. Y'all said to my face, "Don't do this.
Y'all said
Don't
that
do
shit
this."
on Beyonce's internet.
y'all said some horrible things until literally I think last year people kept saying that Peter Parker was Spider-Man. Um, Miles Morales is just Miles Morales. It's like, no, they
And then
both
the
got
movie
bit.
came out and said like, "Hey, everyone's Spider Man." Like,
Yeah.
and that's the point. That's the whole point. And
Anyone, and Stan Lee has said anyone could wear the mask. That's why you don't know who's behind the mask. He's just out saving lives, and it's like, mm,
that's what I thought
mm,
was so important about like Miles Morales Spider Man. Like even before like Stan Lee came out and said it
yeah.
because there had been other Spider Man. It wasn't just Peter. There were other Spider Man, and
Miguel
it really.
O'Hara, Ben
Mm-hmm.
Riley, uh, 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 Kane Parker, um,
It, so having Miles was like it was a really when I saw it was a huge reassert. Like before even Stan Lee has it, for me it reassured that like anyone could be Spider Man, and that was like for me that was the point of Miles. It's like anyone can be Spider Man.
yeah, and that inspired me so much that I went, you know what? I've been putting off doing a Spider-Man cosplay. Like, I've wanted to do one. I just we both big boys. big boys in spandex is not always the best look.
I look
So I'm
good
like,
in spandex. I'll have you know that. I have like I might be a big guy, but I wear this shit with so much confidence. It would make Ryan Reynolds look like a little chump. My
look,
confidence in my figure is so high, I make Ryan Reynolds look like a meek little child.
I have somewhat of that kind of, but like I have a great ass. I can at least say that. But like I'm not doing spandex, especially at a con. That's no. So I'm like, I still remember I was scrolling through Tumblr when it was still popping, and I saw someone do like a fan art of like Spider-Man, Miles, and no Spider-Man, Gwen Stacy, as her Spider. I think it was not Silk. Just what was Gwen? She wasn't Ghost
Spider
Spider. She
Gwen?
was. I think she was Spider. Yeah, Spider Gwen, and Venom, but like as a tactical unit. And I went, I like that. I think I could do that actually. And I spent months. Like we painted a vest. We made a custom logo. I got Nerf guns that we painted. And I was gonna wear it to MechaCon. Then my dumbass forgot the vest at the house.
Oh,
And then like I was honestly gonna give up on it. And then I was like, you know what? We're gonna give it another try. And it's been one of my most favorite cosplays because it's something I feel I made a whole OC out of it because Spotted Sansa took over like during the pandemic, and like I made a whole character. I have like almost a 4 or 5 year character arc for this character in my head. I can't write worth a damn, but like I know why this character why does he use guns? Why does he wear tactical gear? Like why is he the way that he is? Like, oh, XYZ. He was bit by a spider, but the spider is based off the African bark spider, which has the strongest tensile strength webbing. So instead of him being able to produce webbings, the webbing is intertwined to his muscles, making him physically stronger than most spider people. Blasey, blasey, blasey. Like you did way too much. Yes, I did. I have a problem. Um, to most
I mean,
recently, I got
when you're a geek, man. It's just there's no it's
and
cringe. It's cringe till it's not. You know.
yeah, and that cosplay has gotten me. I got interviewed by Voyage Austin in Texas. I got to be on Crunchyroll's website during Black History Month.
Hell
I got
yeah.
to I got to be on the front page of Fan Expo Dallas in 2023 with a group of other spy people. It's my you see it on my cover photo. Like that is a cherished moment because like I never thought I would be this chunky little dorky quiet kid from Marrero, Louisiana that loved NASCAR and comic books, but like had no confidence, didn't talk, just got bullied relentlessly to really bad points in my life. To now at 35, I have a brand that it may not be popping like other people's, but like I've
It's
in
yours.
10 years, yeah, it's mine. It's something I've built from the ground up. I've met amazing talented people, cosplayers, artists, writers, singers, wrestlers, stuntmen, people who've worked with Marvel, worked with Disney, been on TV, been in movies. I met Sugar Ray. I met Johnny Young Bosch. I got to meet Stan Lee before he passed,
Oh,
years
that's awesome.
before, and it wasn't even like that wasn't like because of my name or anything. That was just an off chance. Met him, security surrounding him. I was like, oh my god, it's Stan Lee, and he turned around and did the why yes I am, and I almost lost my
I would have
shit.
lost it, dude.
Is
I would have cried. I would have cried.
is I met him. I met Tommy, Jason David Frank. I met half the cast of The Walking Dead. I met uh I got
You
I got
telling me you
Jeremy
met
Renner.
Sam Porter Bridges?
I met him. I met the kid. I met Jeffrey Dean Morgan before like he blew up again. Like I met him. This is kind of embarrassing. I got to meet Stephen Amell, and David Ramsey from Arrow, and
Yeah.
it was during the Q&A, and I was the last person in season 1 Arrow costume, by the way, like hood and all, no mask, and I asked 3 questions. One, are we ever going to see the iconic goatee, which he would later wear in a episode? 2, will he cook his iconic chili that is known to be the spiciest thing in DC universe? And 3, let me get Sarah Lance's phone number because your boy's single and I feel I could take her to Cafe Du Monde. We can have a great old time. And look, man, I'm trying out here. It's hard in these streets, and his face just went, what? David Paul Ramsey is laughing his ass off. The host he's dropped the mic and walked off the stage. I'm just like, look, you give me an inch,
Oh,
I'll take a
brother just
mile.
trying to shoot his shot, dude. Brother just trying to shoot his
The
shot.
crowd, the crowd gets behind me just a little bit. You give me that little bit, I'm getting the whole crowd behind me. I grab the microphone and I'm like, I'm talking to the people. Like it's insane. Uh, one of my another great moment. I met the New Day. If you watch pro wrestling, Big E Langston, Xavier Woods, Kofi Kingston, they were at uh one of the events like right before the pandemic, literally 2 3 months before the world just shut down, and they're doing a Q&A and we're talking, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna challenge him to a game of Mario Kart on Nintendo Switch, even though he just tore his Achilles tendon and is in a wheelchair that looks like Professor X's wheelchair. He's in full costume. I'm gonna call him out and do a whole pro wrestling promo in front of all these people on a whim, improvised, no plan, nothing. And my picture and video got to be on the website. He shook my hand. I'm just like this. Looking back on 10 years, all just from being an absolute fucking dork and just being obsessed with these things that we love: games, comic books, uh, art, all these things that make us who we are, and just being passionate about them has led us on these paths
Mm-hmm.
of, let's be honest, sheer chaos.
All right, all right. You shared this story with me. I'm gonna share a Dead Scene Media story with you. So
Bet.
early on in when I was reviewing games, I knew for a fact in my first year I wanted to review The Thing. You know, the what 2001 game that was for PlayStation 2. I was terrified of it when I was a kid, but I always loved the movie. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna review the 2001 The Thing, the game. It was fucking ass. It was so bad. But you know, I managed to find a PC copy, and I managed to get it running, and I played the game and I beat it. And after I beat it, I was like working on my script for the review, and I was like, hey, you know, it'd be really cool. And I'm sure that the guys who worked on the game prior would be like, yo, this is sick. Some random guy is reviewing our game like 30 years later. And he wants to know about the development process. So I reached out to the director of the game over on Twitter. I was on Twitter. I even got Twitter Blue just so I could like make it like official. Like, hey, please see my message. I literally paid money so you could see my goddamn message. And so he responds and he's like, yeah, I'd love to do an interview. And then he never did it. Right? He never did it. But that's the funny part. This is actually, I know it sounds kind of shitty that the guy didn't want to do the interview after he didn't do the interview after he agreed to it. But I was already working on my review, and a week after my review goes live, Night Dive Studios announced the remaster, and it was already almost done. So let's take a couple steps back. I'm working on my script a week before I try to interview the guy, and they're already working on the game with the old development team. So out of nowhere, this guy is like, hey, do you want to talk about this game that you worked on previously and are currently working on now, but no one knows about it? That's fucking weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
So yeah, of course he didn't do the fucking interview. Them dudes like, hey, you want to talk about the game you're currently working on right now that you can't talk about for like a couple of weeks? And I never got the interview, but I realized why I never got it, and it's always been a funny little story because it's like they were working on the game and no one knew about it when I was working on my review. So out of nowhere, this little guy is like, "Hey, you want to talk about the game that you're working on that no one knows about?"
He's like, about that.
Yeah, but now the original developers of the game, before I deleted my Twitter account, all the original developers, because of that, they all eventually followed me because of my review. And Night Dive, they don't regard me none. Regardless, I reviewed both versions of the game, and they don't regard me none, despite that funny little happenstance of me putting my review out a week before they announced it, trying to interview one of their developers while they're working on the game, not knowing they're working on the game. It might not be funny to some people, but to me, that's like the funniest. It's just a funny little happenstance, you know? They're working on the game, and I'm like, hey, I don't know you're working on the game. Want to talk about the game?
He's like, this is awkward.
It was real. I bet it was really awkward.
I'm just gonna leave you on red.
Yeah, I would have too. I would have done the same thing. It's like, we're working on this right now. Does he know? He can't know.
Who snitch? Who snitch?
Yeah, exactly. But now the CEO of Night Dive followed me, and I'm pretty stoked on that. Not that I get any pull with Night Dive. I want pull with Night Dive because I want to be on the list for System Shock 2 remake. But you know,
I know we've been going on for a long time. We don't have to talk about it. I also want to add God of War also changed me a lot. Like I a lot of people want to bitch and say that old man Kratos is weaker than
no way,
the Kratos
no chance.
they grew up with.
Mm-mm.
Dog, you got old man strength mixed in with father strength. Nah, that's a different breed of Kratos. It's a different breed right there.
Revenge strength is not as strong as desperation strength.
Mm, mm. Talk to him. Talk to him.
I did not like the original God of War games, like God of War 1, 2, 3, blah 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 blah. I never liked hack and slash. Never liked it. God of War 2018 or whatever year came, and I was like,
Yeah.
hey, this is kind of tight. And now I love God of War. Not the original still. I'm not going to play the originals. I still fucking hate hack and slash.
I think I only played 2. Either 2 or 3. I can't remember which one.
They all ass.
Also, the soundtrack to 1 and 2, especially Hoser, Blood Upon the Snow. You got it, Hoser. All your big hair and everything. You got it, dog. You got it. I sing that in the car.
Yes, Sleep Token without heavy guitars.
Look, hey. Oh, let's talk about chemistry.
On games that didn't quite make the list, there's this. I just started playing it a little bit. It's a little racing game that came out on PS2 called Auto Modelista.
Yes, that was the cell shaded racing game.
A stupid, shitty little racing game, but man, it was so fucking stylish. Like I just got it for an emulator, and I started playing it the other day, and it's so dumb and it's so fun. It's so good looking to this day.
That didn't make the list that you might look at me sideways. I love Anthem.
Anthem's good. It's good. It was really good. Yeah. It was a bad live service game, but it was a cool game.
I love that Anthem and the Avengers, both games that should not have been live service, both games that just had unbelievable bad luck. Especially I think it was Anthem. Like they had plans for stuff and someone cut the power line to the building by accident. You had issues with the servers. It was like anything that could go wrong for that game went wrong at the worst time. And I played that. I really love the story, the lore, them arm.
It was fun, dude. It was fun as hell.
I loved my javelin. I loved that bitch so much because I either played as the just like that middle ground where you were kind of the assault, but you had like it was basically Iron Man, or I played my tank because I'm a tanky guy. I'm not good at puzzles or being quick. Just let me punch the thing. Give me big gun and just let me sound off these shots. Like let me be America real quick and just go gun 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 gun.
All right, since we're talking about hot takes with games, I got one. I don't know how you like Battlefield, but
I Battlefield Bad Company and Battlefield 3 and 4 are some of my favorite games. I did not play any of the well, no, I did. I did play Battlefield 1, which I can't even give that game away. No one wants it. Uh
people play the shit out. What are you talking? People play the shit out of Battlefield 1. Like it is
I
still like not anymore now because of Battlefield
yeah.
6, but like up to like this point, Battlefield 1 was like popping.
I don't care for like
I don't like Battlefield 1 either.
old
Though. Like
old war. I'm very much a modern combat war person. I like the furthest I will go back is maybe the 80s, which is why I did it in
I
my
like
Black Ops
Vietnam.
6.
Battlefield Vietnam was cool.
I will give that. I did not play 2042, so I don't have an opinion on it.
I'm glad you brought 2042 up because that's what I'm about to talk about. 2042, at one point in its development, was the single greatest Battlefield game ever made. And then they fucked it up immediately the next season. So I picked up Battlefield 2042 while I was working at EA. And when I picked it up, they were just coming off like the first two seasons, which were really rough. They got the really bad reputation during that era, and no one wanted to play it. And in season 3, I picked it up in season 3. I bought the game for $10, the Ultimate Edition. I was like, yeah, fuck it, I'll play Battlefield 2042. Who gives a shit? And season 3, 4, and 5 were some of the best multiplayer gaming experiences I have ever had. They were putting in so much content. Like they weren't giving us a lot of maps, but like the Battlefield portal was really starting to shine, which you're going to see the Battlefield portal with Battlefield 6. You're going to see that a lot.
I just played the open beta earlier today too.
I was downloading while we've been talking, but so the portal is basically it's curated experiences, whether it be from DICE or Battlefield Studios and players. And so the portal in 2042 really started to come of its own in season 3, and they had some of the best player experiences ever. Like I was playing matches on Battlefield 3 maps as if it were Battlefield 3, with Battlefield 3 loadouts, Battlefield 3 vehicles, the Battlefield 3 maps. And I was all like, this is like Battlefield 3. And then there some player experiences were just Bad Company and Bad Company 2 experiences where you play Bad Company 2 loadouts, Bad Company 2 characters, Bad Company 2 maps. And then sometimes they'd be like, well, what if we just play World War II on these Bad Company maps? And it's like, hey, that sounds fun. And it was really like starting to flourish. And then they I don't know what happened, but it just Battlefield went from being 2042 went from being like the best Battlefield experience ever made to just being just back to where it was. Like over the course of like 9 months, it went from being like, yeah, this is incredible. We're having so much fun to why are we so miserable all of a sudden? So I'm gonna
need to have a conversation.
I'm gonna have us wrap it up here, and I want you to tell everybody, obviously we know a little bit about who you are, but tell us who you are on your channel, what you do, where they can find you, and what you're working on.
Sure. Hi. Name is Brian. I am the head geek in charge of GeekSQUIRE. We are a content creating, I would say group, but it's mostly just me right now. I do everything from talk about NASCAR to doing D&D cosplays, uh, Marvel cosplay, DC cosplays, Doctor Who, you name it. I've probably done something or some form of it. Um, we do have a YouTube channel. It's a little rocky right now. I focus mostly on TikTok and short form content. YouTube will be making a comeback with our long form content as I start the process of Project RC, which is me turning my 2015 Lexus RC 350 F Sport into the best daily driver that I can afford. Um, right now, we're still in the stock stages, but I did just get a GoPro, so you'll probably see some POV drives at some point eventually, maybe. Who knows? Um, other projects I'm working on. I have a D&D podcast on Spotify called The Widow's Guard. Uh, think think Bright mixed with the Avengers. It's basically that. Add in your typical D&D chaos because right now one person is now in a polyamorous relationship and is a father off of a joke comment saying he slept with his wife and they rolled a natural 20, so they actually did that. So I actually had to come up with a whole side story for that, and it's gotten insane. But they also saving the world and building maybe an army for the moon goddess. You gotta listen to it. You gotta listen to it. It's on Spotify under GeekSquire. Um, you can find me on Twitch. Do I stream? Sometimes. I'm not consistent. I ain't gonna lie to you. I want to, but I work. I have a real job. Well, a real ish job. These are all my jobs. I work too much. Regardless, I do try to stream. You might find me playing Gran Turismo, just doing some daily challenges or photography. I do a lot of pictures. You might find me on the crew on Xbox, just trying to figure out how to drift in that game. You might find me talking to myself playing WWE 2K25 and coming up with an entire universe and pay-per-views and blase blase. So it's literally Geek Squire under everything. We do hope you come check us out. We try to make content for any and everyone. Our motto is it doesn't matter who you are, whether you're man, woman, non binary, straight, gay, queer, don't matter. We love you regardless. We welcome you in. We don't have pizza because most likely I ate it all, but we hope you have a great time. And if anything, we got you at least laugh for like one moment and got your mind off of the real world. And we just want to make you laugh and make you feel good about yourself. So, um, I believe that's it. We don't really have anything else going on this year because I am poor because I bought a car that was very expensive.
So yeah, Brian, Geek Squad, thank you so much for coming on and hang out and talk about games, the games that made us. My light went out, so it's a little dark for me here. Uh, but thank you again. Please go follow them on TikTok, YouTube, wherever they. I'll have all their links down below, so check those out for sure. Thank you, and that's it. That's the video. Slosh out.